Louis Riddick is a certified stud and a bona fide G. He made a great rant, and we definitely got to talk about it. Our Detroit Lions getting mad love from the analyst. But before we get into today's video, if you are a fan of the Detroit Lions and a fan of a former player like Herman Moore, you need to subscribe to the channel because the NFL season is nearly here. We're about to be talking Lions football every single day, and it's going to be freaking epic. Let's get this thing going. I am very much burnt. I was on the Lake Michigan this weekend sea-doing, and I tell you what, it was fun, but that's why I look a little bit cherry on the forehead, and same with the rest of my body. But we're not going to get to that. We're going to talk about Louis Riddick showing some mad love to the Detroit Lions. He believes the Lions are going to go to the NFC Championship game, folks. Unfreaking believable, he says here. He goes, when he's talking about get up, who I'd like to say Jared Goff because of the kind of synergy he has formed with the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. When you look at Jared's season last year, you can subjectively say, look, I don't like the guy. Sean McVay got rid of him. He's not a big game performer, whatever. If you look at him objectively, this guy, as far as well as the quarterback metrics, when you splice it apart, he was nailing in every single critical category. He was a top 10 in total QBR. He was second in the NFL in fourth quarter QBR. He's a top 10 quarterback, top 11 in the red zone QBR, third down QBR in the pocket, QBR outside in the pocket. They have it going with Jared Goff right now. I was talking about how Jared Goff was lighting it up, and we've preached this on both channels here, talking about how he is a top 10 quarterback by all stats. All the metrics shows it. You may not like him. You may not think he's sexy. You may think he's kind of lame. Whatever. Ryan Gosling. But at the end of the day, we've seen it. We've seen it with our own eyes, and the stats show it. They continue on. The passing game was very efficient. They had top 2, top 3 offensive line in the entire NFL. He's got a running game. He can lean on the explosive as far as the receiving capabilities out of the backfield as well. And I think, when you talk about PFF gave the Lions the 10 worst, offensive skill position and weapons, what are you looking at? What are you talking about? You got explosive run game there that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take it. In the pass game, Montgomery could do that as well. Look, I believe Detroit is poised to make a huge, huge leap this year and be a major, major player in the postseason. And one of the primary reasons, Mike Green, is because I believe we talk about it all the time. Situations dictate player performance as much as themselves. Jared Goff was found the situation for him now. And he's going to take another step this year, and you're going to see it manifest itself in them being in the NFC title game. Thanks to the Detroit Lions going to the NFC title game. And I tell you what, I love it. First off, it's good to see love coming from somebody that's done it before because, look, Louis Riddick was actually in competition to become the Lions GM. Obviously, didn't get it. We got the great Brad Holmes. But he is very knowledgeable about the game of football and players and talent and all of that stuff. And so when he looks at the talent of Jared Goff, he can see it. He was 100% correct about Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford went and won a Super Bowl, and that was after they're going to look for him to potentially be the GM for the Detroit Lions. But he's 100% correct here. The Lions, I do think, could be contenders for the NFC Championship game. Am I going to say that? No. I think they win a playoff game at home. They win the NFC North, and we just take it game by game because right now we don't know exactly who you face and all of that stuff. Maybe a wild card team like the Giants knock out the Eagles or the 49ers. We don't know how that's going to be in seeding and all of that, player injuries. There's just so many different things for the Lions to say it's going to happen. It's really difficult, but they do absolutely have the capability of doing it. The roster is top-notch from top to bottom, from depth to starter. It's close. You look at the secondary, if you lose Tracy Walker, okay, you got Brian Branch. Oh, big deal. See, you lose C.J. Gardner for a little bit. Oh, okay, you got Brian Branch. You lose Brian Branch. Well, he's kind of like in the mixture. Emmanuel Mosley. You could do Jerry Jacobs. There's so many different players that can come in if an injury happens. The same with the linebacking core. You got Derek Barnes and Malcolm Rodriguez fighting it out to see who's going to get some of that time, and Jack Campbell. That's good to see. The defensive line is completely stacked. Maybe a little bit less on the interior, but it's not bad at all. I mean, literally from depth, from starter to backup, it's not a drop-off. It's not a significant drop-off. Offensive line is healthy now. Halapluti Vaitai is good to go. The offensive line was definitely top 5 last year. I think it's going to be top 2 this year. It's going to be one of the best in the NFL. Then you got Jared Goff. He just distributes football evenly to his wide receivers, his tight ends, his running backs, and Penei Sewell, if need be. The Lions got great coordinator right now in Ben Johnson. We think that our defense, Aaron Glenn can take that next step because he's got weapons. We're aggressive on special teams. It's 3 phases of the game is all there. They have it all, and they legitimately could go to the NFC title game. I'm more of a sit back and wait approach, but I love the idea of you're getting love from somebody that kind of understands the game of football. And if you do compare the Lions to the other teams, the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and Philadelphia Eagles, they're right there. I think they're right in that mix. Lions nearly beat Eagles. Seattle, too, you could put in there. Lions nearly beat them. It was a close game, and those are all playoff teams. The Lions have the ability to get there. They're not that far off. So when an analyst says the Lions can get to the NFC Championship game and make a serious run, it's not out of the realm of possibility. It really isn't when you just sit there and you look at it. For the first time, I think, me being a Detroit Lions fan that I actually paid attention to, this was obviously, I was 6 years old in 91. So we're talking about something that I actually paid attention to. This is the most stacked roster I've seen regarding depth and talent. Not far away. The coaching is stacked. Love the coaching staff. There's not a weakness on this football team. And they can beat the Giants. They can beat the Cowboys. They can beat Seattle. They can beat the Philly, and they can beat the 49ers. Will they? Don't know, but they can. It's not crazy. I know there's a lot of Lions fans out there that are like, Mike, I've been a Lions fan forever. There's no way. The Lions are going to Lions. That's what it's going to be. I don't just accept the Lions are going to Lions. You also got to look at everything. Before, we've had bad drafting, inability to draft talent in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th undrafted. We just could never find talent. We'd have to only rely on free agency. And yes, you'll get a couple good players in free agency, but you have to rely on your draft. In the last 3 years, we have had an A-plus draft. It's just draft after draft after draft. And if you look right now, Jahmyr Gibbs blowing up camp. You look at Jack Campbell doing damn good. Sam Laporta, damn good. Brian Branch, damn good. Hendon Hooker, backup. Broderick Martin, looking good. The team knows what they're doing. And if you look at how they, in the NFC North itself, they're better than the Vikings. They're better than the Packers. They're better than the Chicago Bears. Chicago got better. Vikings got worse. Green Bay, it's kind of we don't really know. They're in a limbo there. But I feel Lions are more talented than all those teams. So they can win the NFC North and host a playoff game. It is not out of the realm of possibility they win the playoff game. We've seen what the Lions did on the road last year. They're 4-4 on the road. They can play on the road. That's pretty good. The Lions can run the football and slow the clock down. It gets cold in December. Guess what? They can run the football. It's not going to kill them. They did it in Green Bay, and it was cold. So this team can get it done on all phases. They can play indoor. They can play outdoor. They can run the football. They can pass the football. They got hella special teams. Now we're iffy on kick. We're iffy on kicker. We don't really know who's going to win the battle. And we think the defense is going to take a massive jump. And it looks like that in OTAs and minicamp. That's what they're doing. So you just look at all the other rosters in the NFC, the Lions have a legit shot to get to the NFC Championship game. Louis Riddick is correct. He is 100% correct. And I like the fact that a lot of people just poo-poo Jared Goff. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback ever, but he's not butt cheeks. He's not. To me, he is top 10 right now in statistics, and you have to go by it. And he's winning games. So it's not just, you can't just go by statistics, because you're correct. You have to have a feel on the field. But he's winning those games. So he's top 10 in stats. He's winning the games that you need to win in the critical downs, on third down, in shorts, and stuff like that, and getting touchdowns. What can you say? Except for he's correct. He is 100% correct on this one. And it should be an exciting year. It absolutely should. It should be really fun for our fandom. It should be really fun for our, being a Lions fan for as long as we have, because we've been seeing butt cheeks for a long time, and we're not used to the idea of being considered contenders, and it's a little bit off base than what we're used to, but we got to accept the fact that it's legit. We have to accept the fact that this team is good. It's going to be good. And the Lions can do it. They just can. So we'll see. We'll see. But make sure you guys hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all of that. It does help out. I know it probably gets annoying constantly saying it, but this YouTube algorithm is difficult, and when you're going against big media and you're trying to make a name for yourself, like Lions Nation Unite is, it really does make a difference. So with that said, folks, adios.